to 2020, or as we call it, the year of the vibe. Despite the name, these vibes are not good. This year started with bad vibes and has a pretty good chance at ending on the same note. So let's start with the introductions. I'm Avery.
I'm
What's
Lane.
that? I'm Corey. You heard me?
And I'm James.
Alright, Corey's a little bit loose tonight.
Yeah, he's
Nah,
a little
dude.
loose.
I'm not even fucked up yet, man.
Corey's currently on crystal meth.
Every day.
He's actually on every form of drug known to man, from cocaine to ketamine.
Imagine like having an IV bag constantly strapped to you, feeding you every fucking drug possible.
That sounds like your
You don't need to
lifestyle.
imagine.
Pretty much, dude. I wish, dude. That's a way simpler fucking time than having to smoke weed on the low.
Oh boy.
All right, so let's start with the first question. Which candidate would be able to deal with the Iran issue and reform the Iran deal?
Well, I clearly think it's Hillary Clinton, of course. I mean, she has never
Oh.
started a war in her career, you know?
Really?
Yeah, the Clintons ain't never killed nobody, bro.
Yeah. They're just like George Bush, you know? They haven't done anything, and they're the most pacifist people in the United States.
Oh, dude. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they remind me of
Yeah.
like the top tier list of like people who did nothing wrong. You know, Pol Pot.
So wait, who do you really think would be the best candidate to, negotiate that? And do you think that's even the president's, like, I mean, he can, whoever it is can make that statement that that's part of their platform. But I mean, are they actually going to be that active in dealing with it, or do we need a government agency for him
Well,
to deal?
that falls into the question. It's not about what they say they're going to do. It's what you
Mm-hmm.
think that they're actually going to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Warren, she's obviously conservative and pro military, so
Mhm.
she's not going to be wanting to solve any issue.
Wait, are
Did
you
you say
calling
Warren?
Warren a liar?
No, I'm
Well,
calling
that's
Warren
interesting
a
though,
Republican.
because she wants to pull all the troops out, or so she claims.
Yeah, she claims. I mean, if you really want a candidate who's, like, ultimately just anti-intervention across the board, it's Gabbard, if you're being
Yeah.
completely honest.
Yeah,
but-
I agree with that. I agree with
But
that.
I don't think, I think her.
Do you think that's a good solution though?
No, I don't. That's what I was getting into. I don't think I think some intervention is, to an extent.
So, in
necessary
your
and
opinion,
justifiable.
you think that the minimal ground troops is a necessary evil?
I
I feel like we shouldn't.
I don't
even
think it's a
be there
necessary
at
evil.
all, is the issue.
well, it depends on
Yeah.
the country. I mean, obviously in Iran, no. I
But
know that
oil
we should be
good.
against.
Like,
You're
my
not wrong.
opinion, my opinion of it is like, in Iran, there's no reason for us to be there. We've
Mhm.
destroyed them in every way. We are the rogue state in that one.
Mhm.
You
Like,
know what? We wouldn't
they
have any
follow-
reason to invade Iran if we all just had Teslas.
So here's
Elon
my
Musk would-
here's my issue. Like everyone says America acts as like the police force of the world or whatever, but I
That's
mean
because it
when
does.
we go in and fuck up Syria, Iran, Iraq, Baghdad, like all these different places, you know what I'm saying? We go in, we fuck up the current political institution that's in there, and then we get pissed off when our opponents like fucking like Russia come in and they deploy 35,000 ground troops to support the Assad regime, because what's going on after we fucking did that shit is just pure chaos and there's nothing going on. So I personally, I think ground troops do need to be there at that point, because we've already fucked
This is where the same
ourselves in it.
question actually comes in. Same idea. That's where we should rely more on our allies and not just our own selves. Like,
Mhm.
our allies that we recently pretty much just screwed over completely, the YPG in Syria, Kurdish
Okay,
forces.
To be fair, we didn't fuck up Syria. That was just rebels that we funded, you know?
Yeah. When you fund a terrorist organization to
You
get rid of
know,
a terrorist
fund a
story of the
organization you
life.
funded.
We didn't fuck up Syria.
No, I mean, we didn't
That
fuck it
is
up
a
initially,
hot
but we certainly didn't help.
take. That is a hot fucking take, bro.
I was joking, but I don't think we didn't start the Civil War, obviously, but
Oh no,
we
definitely not.
certainly have
We
you
funded
know
the
exacerbated
proponents
the
of
problem.
it.
We
just
certainly
fucking-
spurred it towards a certain direction.
I'm not
Mhm.
sure if this was a meme or if it was an actual news article, but I remember seeing something about CIA rebels or CIA-backed rebels and Pentagon-backed rebels were fighting each other.
Oh yeah, no. So that is one of the biggest problems with dealing with this issue indirectly. So we send specialty units to train rebel groups, and we're
Yeah.
not even sure which rebel groups are gonna turn on us.
Well, this has
So-
all started since the Soviet-Afghan War in the 80s when we funded the Mujahideen.
Are you talking
which
about
later turned
the
into the which later
OG
turned
Papa
into-
Bush? OG Papa Bush's
Yeah.
Gulf War.
Well, that was
No, I'm talking about the Soviet-Afghan War when the Soviets invaded Afghanistan.
I think it all goes back to the Gulf
So-
War, personally.
So what happened there is we funded the Mujahideen to fight Soviet ground forces and shit. And from there, those troops in the Mujahideen later became Al Qaeda, which were CIA trained.
if I remember correctly, the catalyst for Osama bin Laden's anti-American stance mostly came from the support of Israel and the increased presence
Yeah.
of American troops after the Gulf War.
Yes.
But the Gulf War did act as a
catalyst.
major catalyst, for
So yeah, what I learned in school was that the Gulf War is pretty much, and then the catalyst behind furthering the shit show out there would be, the Bush presidency, 100%.
Which one?
senior
Both
or
of them, I think.
junior?
The second one.
Junior.
That's
George
yeah.
the Second.
I mean,
Yeah.
I already made my point about the first one.
George the Second.
But yeah, no, back to the initial topic. Which candidate do you think can handle this Iran problem, specifically the nuclear the Iran deal? You know what I'm saying?
This is kind of my
Well-
thought on it. Actually, Lane, go ahead.
To be fair, Pete Buttigieg, he's wasn't he a CIA analyst or some shit like that?
Yes.
That's the theory.
I think he has I think he has a very good personal
He-
understanding of that.
He probably could figure out what's going on there better, but to be fair, Pete's also not like someone I would trust with our military.
No, that's the thing as well. Like, we already know what's wrong there. It's just the fact nobody wants to admit it.
I don't
This
know.
is
I
why
don't
I
think-
think.
Well,
This is why I think
the
Bernie
whole-
Sanders would be the best candidate.
Uh,
I don't
like-
I don't think
I
any
don't-
of the candidates are explicitly bad on foreign policy, except maybe
Klobuchar.
obviously Trump and the conservative Democrats like Klobuchar and Biden. So I don't think any of the candidates left of them are explicitly bad in foreign policy. I think they're all relatively even.
I don't
think
think
the outliers in
Biden
that
has a
group-
plan at all. I mean, look at the fucking Obama administration. What did
Biden's
they
plan?
Well, no,
Biden's
no, 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 no,
plan
no,
is
no, no, no,
probably
no,
just
no, no,
preserve
no.
the status quo. I
With
think.
with Obama's Iran deal, that was like the one good thing of his presidency. Really, it was just we remove sanctions in exchange that they don't have like the nuclear power to actually build the nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, 100%.
That- I
Now
think
that's the
that
beginning.
was the whole deal.
Problem of that deal still remains, though. I'm not saying
And
the
then
whole deal
Trump
should have
pulled
been
out.
gutted.
Yeah,
Here's
Iran
the
deal.
here's the real issue of that. It worked just fine. Like, European groups, the IAEA also reported that they weren't making nuclear weapons. The main issue was that we still continued sanctions despite the deal. And it's no
And-
surprise that Trump pulled out of the deal when he got elected, because it's more of the right's war hawk mentality.
Yeah, and now
Yeah, well,
Iran
also-
has no motivation to denuclearize. They want to arm themselves. They need to arm themselves if they want to, make their point across. And
Yeah,
It's,
no.
it's
there's
similar to
no
North Korea.
other way around it.
If there
Well,
was
if you
like
look
in
at-
a decent fucking timeline, Iran wouldn't need to nuclearize, but in reality, the situation is that we're just keep pushing them, just hoping that we have any reason to go to war with them. If they built a nuke, we couldn't do shit. It would just be a standoff. It would be deterrence.
It's very similar to the situation with North Korea. In the wake of the famine that happened in the mid '90s, they developed nuclear weapons as a way to kind of put
Yeah,
pressure
yeah.
on the international community to bargain with them.
Stick. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
back
they-
to
They
my
pointed
fucking
a gun at
there's
the
two
world.
reasons. There's two reasons. One's defensive, so it deters any kind of invasion or aggression by the United States.
Oh yeah.
And the second reason is for foreign aid. So they construct their nuclear weapons in order to get the international community freaked out and to get them to stop sanctions and subsidize them or send them imports
Yeah.
or exports.
Iran needs a gun that they can point at the world because they're tired of getting fucking just, walked all
The
over by
world's
every foreign power.
Can we also talk
Well,
about
I don't
how
know.
like
I don't.
the
I
same
mean, I'm
issue,
personally
really.
against the. Sorry, Avery. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was saying. You're saying about Iran. Personally, I don't think. Ideally, I don't think any country would have nuclear weapons. I think it's horrible. I think.
I mean,
denuclearization
ideally,
is-
I think
That's why I
everyone
said ideally. I don't
wants
think it's
that,
practical in the slightest.
It's just not. It's not. And I
It's
mean,
not practical. Yeah,
at
I agree,
all.
of course.
at
But
all. So
I
with the
think-
problem
I don't
for
think
me,
we should be. I don't think we should be aiming at having more countries possess nuclear
Oh,
capabilities.
of course not. Like we shouldn't have other countries having nuclear weapons, but at the same time, we shouldn't be the judge of who and who doesn't because we have the largest stockpile, except for like maybe Russia.
Yeah, I think Russia has more, but I think we have a larger range. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the thing
Because we
with
have
it is
military
too
bases
is
across the world.
after the post-Soviet Union, like there's just a lot of instability and government issues just everywhere.
Yeah.
So it made it really easy for like black market smuggling of nuclear materials into other countries. So the amount of nations that had nukes skyrocketed pretty much.
not to
really
mention
skyrocket,
the
but it-
availability of information in the current age is utterly absurd to the point where kids can learn how to make actual nuclear reactors in
Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
that
that
guy in the
actually
Boy
Wiki
happened.
Scouts?
how to make a
in-
nuke.
No,
There's
dude,
this guy
this
in the Boy
kid
Scouts who tried to make one.
Oh,
this
shit.
kid literally made a nuclear reactor, bro.
Yeah, he
that
made
and
it
his
out of,
fucking CIA showed up at his science fair and was like, "Nuclear reactor bad."
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The Boy Scouts are gonna wage war on the gays.
Didn't he get he got like the nuclear materials from like I want to say smoke detectors, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so who the fuck do you think has a plan, and what do you think their purpose? How do you think they would deal with the problem? Because I'm
Hear
still
me out.
very confused.
I think
I'm not
Bernie
getting any
Sanders
answer.
still. I think
Okay,
Bernie
but-
Sanders. He's the one that has like flat out said he doesn't want to be in the Middle East. Nobody wants to be in the Middle East.
So
okay.
Just
Bernie's
completely pull
policy
out. We
is to
shouldn't
just
be
pull
there.
out. Yeah.
Now, do you really
here's the
think
thing.
he's gonna be able to have that happen, though?
Executive order.
Okay.
But here's the issue with it as well. Like, yes, I understand. Like, there's a lot of things holding us back from pulling out of the Middle East. It is still a goal that we should obtain. It is also a thing. Like, we
do you
can
think
easily
Bernie
just
Sanders would utilize that kind of power, though? He doesn't seem like an imperialistic president at all, and that type of power and decision correlates with the mindset of imperialistic.
Well, in his
presidents.
mindset as well, like
Everyone-
you can be honest here, like the Iraq War didn't have Senate approval. It was just George Bush used an executive order to go there after 9/11.
I gotta
like-
make my daddy proud.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Afghanistan was an
'Cause I-
actual
'cause I-
Senate vote as well. Like that one
Yeah,
was
you
an
said
actual
Iraq
vote.
didn't have a Senate vote. I
Iraq
thought
didn't.
It did. It did.
Yeah, I thought you just
Afterwards.
said it didn't. Oh, okay.
Like he already had troops there and everything. Like Bush immediately moved in. Then after the fact, they're just like, "Oh, we should vote about this."
Okay.
But at
Nah,
that
it's
time, we were
all-
already at the
it was
war
already-
hawk mentality after 9/11, where everybody just wanted blood. They were craving it.
It's
you know?
actually considered the perfect storm. That's how it was described in political science class for me. It's a combination of everything going on during that period.
And that
that
is
you
also
feel.
like the rise of like
Anxiety
the 9/11
was super high.
conspiracies and everything
Yeah.
too, because it was just too perfect, you know.
Well, I mean, look at Halliburton stocks. The company Dick Cheney owns, bro. It's fucking. He experienced a huge surge in profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
It's-
It was the Cheney presidency, and he was just like something evil.
Pretty much.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't. I mean, I'm a pretty. I'd say I'm a pretty solid leftist, but I don't think George Bush is necessarily a bad guy morally.
No,
I just think he's very easily manipulative.
He was
I do
basically
think he is a
manipulated.
bad guy morally
Manipulated.
because he done knocked up a whole bunch of bitches, and his daddy had to make him get abortions, which is covered in his biopic.
Wait, hold on.
He was
what
also
are
a
you talking
raging
about?
alcoholic.
He
Oh,
was.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was. But I don't think being an alcoholic makes. you a
Not
bad
only
person.
that,
No, he
what
was
the
the type
fuck
of guy-
qualifies him to be the fucking president of the United States just because
Oh.
daddy helped him get into good schools? That's horse shit.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
fucking
he was,
horse
to
he was
be
shit.
governor of
fair-
He's a
Texas
good
before.
looking yeah, he barely won that fucking race. It was a total
Yeah.
I don't
fluke.
think Bush really wanted to be president. I think it was just from
He wanted to make his
pressure from
daddy
his
proud, dude.
Maybe.
And he
Because
fucked up Jeb's entire political career in the process.
Joke.
because look at what he is now. He likes to paint. He's just relaxing all the time.
Oh, 100%. But the one who was actually politically savvy was Jeb. But then you have fucking George, and his dad begged him not to run for governor, and then really begged him not to
Well,
run for president. And he was upset that he won because he was like, "You're gonna take away from Jeb's all of Jeb's work." And what the fuck did he do to the Bush name, dude? He cucked it. Please clap, bro. Please clap.
Please,
Well,
clap.
okay. To be fair, if I remember correctly, Jeb Bush lost his first election. So
Mhm.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so so after that, George was kind of seen as the next best chance.
Like,
if I
no, that's the
recall
thing with
correctly.
Jeb. Jeb
I
is
watched the
just the
biopic,
boring
bro.
Republican. That's how he looks. Like, it's the
Yeah.
same.
It
Look
doesn't-
at the 2016
I think
elections. This is how
Jeb
fucking Trump
would've-
won.
And that's exactly what I'm referring to. I think Jeb Bush would have been a much, much more valid candidate had his brother never been involved in politics.
Yeah, but I don't think that changes the fact that Jeb Bush is not terribly charismatic.
Yeah,
Still,
no, he's pretty
100%.
He-
There's a
he-
predisposed notion to anyone with the last name Bush now.
If you have to ask your audience to clap, that's a really bad. That's a really bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Klobuchar.
That bitch be shaking. You're
Yeah, Buttigieg.
So
Did you see in the?
So Bernie
there was a
Sanders is
thread on
Avery's
Twitter
answer.
about
Yeah.
how they were asking people to clap.
I think my answer was Tulsi Gabbard.
yeah, you said that.
I think Tulsi has some good ideas about Iran, but
Tulsi has
Alright,
good
in
ideas,
general,
but
Tulsi really doesn't explain who exactly she is and what she's about.
I mean, I'm not a supporter of hers for the presidency. But I do like
If
her
she was a
foreign
bit
policy.
more
I think
radical, she might be a stronger candidate.
maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not that focused on her domestic policy,
I don't.
Yeah.
The thing is with Tulsi, like the best thing that she can do is probably just drop out and endorse Sanders, because
Probably.
her campaign is going nowhere.
Here's
the
my
issue.
only problem with Sanders. Where
That's
the
what
fuck
everyone besides
is he gonna
Biden
get
should
this
do.
money from? Where is he gonna get this money to make these changes? He says he's gonna tax a specific demographic. That's gonna get appealed. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
They
he- I
have the
think he
money
said he
to
wanted
make
to-
that not happen.
I think he said he
You
wanted to
say
increase the
that-
top marginal tax rates.
Okay, first and foremost, what is the only legitimate function of federal government? How does it make money? What is the only way it makes money?
Taxes.
Okay, there we go. First and foremost. So, if the federal government is saying, hey, we're going to increase this, this, and this, what has to be changed in order to make that happen?
Tax
law.
law.
Taxes?
Okay,
Hey,
okay.
Corey,
Now here's the problem. When you do the math, when you figure it out, when you sit down and you figure it out, it doesn't add up. It just doesn't. And I get that
Sanders' plan.
his plan it just doesn't make sense. Where's the money gonna come from, bro?
Yeah, he said he wanted to increase the top marginal tax rate,
But
and he
that's
also wanted to put a tax on, I think, certain Wall Street transactions. Like,
I'm
over
pretty
a
sure
certain
being
amount.
able to allocate shit out of the military budget would also be a big help.
oh, 100%. There's definitely changes that can be made. But what it comes down to is he can only do so much as the fucking executive branch. Okay.
Well, no,
What-
he actually said that himself too. Like there is only so much he can do as an
he can do
executive order
exactly.
president.
And what it really
This
comes
is
down
why.
what
This is
political
why he wants to do a
revolution,
grassroots
local
campaign
elections.
as well. Like that's why he wants to get people organized, get people
Exactly.
ready to go. He's
And
going
so
to keep
that-
on doing that.
That
like, the
is
whole
one
point
of the
his
most
presidency.
overlooked points of his thing. His grassroots initiative is massive, but at the same time, it's still not enough. It isn't enough to fund this. Ideally, I think Bernie is the perfect candidate. Who do I think can make the changes necessary? At least with the Iran deal, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into funding that much, dude. I'm not an economist.
I don't
All I'm
think any
saying
of
is
us are.
it really doesn't add up. It doesn't. As much as I want it to, I think there needs to be more of a middle ground. I think honestly, as much as I hate to say it, I think Klobuchar has an overall better healthcare plan than Sanders did. I do.
What
Well,
the
if you're talking
fuck
about
is her
if
healthcare plan? I think it's just the
if you're
same
talking
shit
about
as it is
cost,
now, isn't it?
If you're talking about costs, I'm pretty sure under a Medicare for all system like Sanders proposed, the actual cost would go down.
It
So,
would.
the United States the United States spends, I think, more per
Here's what
capita
you're
on
not
people than
realizing.
anyone else
This
in
is what
the developed
99%
world.
of people under the age of 25 cease to realize. What happened when Obamacare came into effect?
Republican shit.
Companies, middle class was heavily affected. Okay, so someone I know who only makes $35,000 a year, has 2 kids, is married, works their ass off, literally couldn't get health insurance through their company because premiums went up so high that companies can't afford these to provide their employees with policies that are affordable, dude. So
Well, this is why at the same
most
time, like
people
you're failing to mention at the same time, like when Obamacare is being passed, it had so much competition against it in the Republican Party. Like it was pretty much just, oh, we
I'm
have
just
to make a deal
saying,
with the
No.
Republicans.
both
It was a
parties
constant
are
back and forth.
fucking a demographic and like not acknowledging it. The Republican plan fucks the minority, the low income minority. The fucking Democrat plan fucks the middle class who, you know, their goal is to get a job at a company that offers health insurance. The amount of companies that offer health insurance gets cut dramatically. So you have, you know, in their eyes, they're looking at people who are motivated to get a good fucking job and be able to have health insurance for their family and themselves, okay? So to them, they're justified in being like, you know what? Fuck these people that just want a handout. And then the people who want a handout are like, fuck these people who are just working their ass off because they come from demographics where they can't even escalate themselves out of that because their fucking parents smoke crack. They're born like in a fucking mostly a more policed area. It's just, you know what I mean? There needs to be cohesion and a middle ground found in this versus fucking one group or the other. Okay, that's just what it comes down
No,
to.
that's the
And if
issue
no
that you're
one's gonna
looking at
do
too.
that-
That's what I'm exactly saying, is that the trying to find the middle ground is what fucked everything up with Obamacare. It was when they're trying to have to keep like appealing to Republican concessions and shit. It was a constant back and forth. It was a tug of war to get it to pass.
It's
And
not just
by the time that the
Democrat- or not-
Republicans fucked it up completely, it was just an absolute fucking useless nightmare. And then
so-
the Republicans were able to push that against it, be like, see, this is why Obamacare is bad. This is why we have to have private health insurance and
Well,
shit
okay,
like
just-
that.
So
It's
the
not just
problem at the end of the
Republicans.
day is the contention of verbal, you know, verbal party statements. Okay, first and foremost, the biasness is inherently there in most statements anyone makes. Okay, and that's just a reality. Republican bad, Democrat good. Democrat good, Republican bad. That's essentially what you're just gonna get if you break down what someone's fucking saying, and that's fucking ass backwards, bro. What we need to do is figure out a fucking plan, regardless of party affiliation. Fucking social science initiative to figure out which will fucking help the most amount of people and make a fucking asterisks within the EU law. Why the fuck don't we do that in America so that we at least cater to some more people? You know what I mean? Why leave one group out? It's fucked up. There
Well, when
shouldn't be a
you're talking about-
choice. There
When you're
shouldn't
talking
be a
about
choice.
Obamacare, when you're talking about Obamacare, it wasn't just opposition from Republicans; it's opposition from Democrats within the
As
party.
It
well.
was corporate
Yeah.
Democrats
So they had
and
to,
shit
they had to
too,
basically,
yeah.
they
What the
basically
fuck would you
declawed the
do
original
if
plan.
you
They had
can't
to
get
rid of
fucking
the-
health? Dude, imagine you got a really good job, okay? You leave one job to go to another job specifically for healthcare. Then Obama passes his healthcare initiative, okay?
Okay,
That-
guys,
it causes
I
your
think
company
we're
to
gone a
lose
bit
the
off
plan.
topic here.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. It's been off topic this whole time,
I
dude.
didn't,
The
I
only
didn't want to
person.
stop you there, Corey, because you're on some good shit. But also,
We do have a topic.
that's a whole can of worms that we're getting into.
You're
that
right,
I don't wanna...
We should save that for the next episode.
Sorry,
Probably.
bro.
Okay, so
Fuck
let's
healthcare.
get into a lighter topic. I think everybody told their candidate what was best for the Iran deal. Which candidate would win in a fight to the death?
Amy Klobuchar,
Well,
100%.
I just want to mention real quickly. I think you'd have an entire episode based on healthcare alone. Probably then you'd still have stuff to say afterwards, anyways.
Yeah,
Oh,
without
You
a
can go on
doubt.
for you can go on for weeks talking about healthcare.
Okay,
But in a
so
fist fight, in a fist fight. I think
Whoa! Who said
I think
fist
there's- I
fight?
think there's-
We
It's
said
just a
all
fight to
out
the-
brawl to the
yeah.
fight to the
death.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I
dude.
think
All right,
again,
hand-to-hand
I'm gonna go
combat
with-
though is
The women would win. The women
again, I'm
would
gonna have
win.
to go with no. Again, I'm gonna have to go with Mommy Tulsi. You know, she's a total dom. I think she's definitely gonna shot everybody else.
No, dude, Bloomberg, bro. He just
No,
pay
no,
a
no, no, no,
private
no, no, no.
ballistic
Hear me out.
go
Hear me
off.
out. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg, he has CIA
Buttigieg
training.
is former
Uh,
CIA,
like,
former
hear me out.
Afghanistan.
This dude has so much fucking rage, like, just built up into him as
Yeah,
well.
but
he's
Same
got
with
the
Klobuchar
Midwest
as well,
rage.
actually. Like, Pete Buttigieg could actually probably go Super Satan and fucking beat the shit out of the other candidates with the corpses of the other candidates as well.
Avery, you're
Like,
forgetting
okay,
something though.
Allow
Yeah.
me to interject, sir.
You're
Amy
forgetting that.
Klobuchar is constantly on the cusp of going Super Saiyan. Do you not see her
Exactly.
suppression of it?
No, that's
through
what I'm
sh-
saying. She could too. I think it could turn into a one-on-one against each other. Like, that's it. Place your bets.
Avery,
She
you're
shakes
forgetting-
more than a centrifuge.
There's one thing about Pete you're forgetting. You're forgetting that he's a twink, so he's not gonna win. I don't mean to be rude,
okay.
but I feel like he get the shit beat out of him.
This is how
Lame.
I think it's gonna go down. You know, Biden's gonna be there. He's just not gonna know what's going on. Bernie's just gonna beat the shit out of Biden because of all of his unpent rage towards the corporate Democratic Party.
No,
And
Bernie,
then,
Bernie- I love as much as I love Bernie. I don't think he's gonna win in a fight to the death. He is.
Yeah, I
horrible
know, but
posture.
he's gonna
His
beat the
posture
shit
is
out of
atrocious.
Biden, and then he's just he's gonna, he'll get taken out, and then
He's gonna wave a
you know-
finger at Biden, and then he's gonna get the shit beat out of him.
Pete's
Sorry.
gonna say to Klobuchar, "This is what you get for bullying me live on stage," and then pull out an M4 SOP mod and just
He's gonna-
go to town.
He's gonna call Warren a liar.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking that Pete Buttigieg's CIA training is what gives him the advantage.
Warren's gonna say like, "Oh, it's racist if you hit me," and then just
I think
back up.
Bernie would fucking back.
Now Warren's gonna pray to the spirit of her Native American ancestors and get like the power of the eagle to help her fight. Was that racist?
Kinda,
No.
but at the same time, she
Nah,
isn't Native
bro.
American.
Well, no, she is totally Native American. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, my apologies.
She's totally Native
Sorry.
American, just like she totally got fired for being pregnant.
Simon
What a
gonna
good
ally
lady.
himself with Bernie because I just wanted to say hi to Bernie.
Tom Steyer, dude,
Tom
because
Steyer
he
would fucking
is
serial
friend-
kill all of them.
he's playing friendly with everyone. So everyone's gonna be like, oh, I'll go after Tom, after I fuck up, blah blah blah. So everyone's gonna hit their initial lick, and then Tom's gonna be like, haha, I was allies with all of you, and then he'll
know that-
slowly pick off the weak ones.
Actually,
You know
this
that
must
meme
be
from
a-
It's Always Sunny? Avery, let me say this real quickly. You know that meme from It's Always Sunny where it's like, it's Mac and he's like, if I play both sides, I'll always come out on top.
Yes.
That's Tom Steyer.
No,
It
this
is-
is why Tom Steyer is actually the Ministry of Vibes candidate. Because he's not there to actually win. He's just there to straight vibe.
We've endorsed him. None of us actually prefer him. We just all compromise, you know?
Yeah.
We all made a
I agree.
compromise, just like how
I agree with
Obamacare was made. So, this
Bloomberg,
actually...
he's
okay.
gonna pick a fight with Klobuchar purely for the fact so she can beat the shit out of him and he can get off on it.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I would let her
Speaking
beat
of
the shit out of me,
endorsements.
bro.
Speaking of endorsements, the New York Times is embarrassing as fuck.
God, holy shit.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
The New York Times decided for the first time in history that the candidate we're endorsing is the girl reading this.
Picture of a mirror.
Uh,
Oh, God.
what do you guys think Yang's chances would be?
None.
Every
Of
single question he gets asked is, "I'll give everyone $1,000 a month."
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
he's
that's a
just gonna
good
start
statement there,
saying math
bud.
problems
And,
at
because
them.
of automation, I had to shoot my Roomba.
Yang's just gonna start, shouting math problems at the other candidates and hope it'll confuse them.
It probably fucking will,
He
dude.
is the math candidate. That is right.
It just says math on his hats, dog. What the fuck
Like, no,
does that
he
even
like,
mean?
he even had a lapel pin. Just
be
fucking
fair-
that just said math on his suit.
To be
during the
fair,
debate.
Yang's merchandise has the most swag out of any candidates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in Missouri we have a very similar phrase, but it's math.
Meth?
We used to be meth capital, but then Indiana took that from us, and now we have nothing. We have nothing now but racism and Andy's ice cream and Ozark.
And a former governor with a sex scandal in his hands.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. He
God.
did like a whole BDSM thing. That was funny.
Wait,
I-
don't
I-
cut
I-
yourself short.
If
Missouri has
which
the
candidate
arbitrary.
would drop the hottest EP of 2020?
Bernie.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tough
I have a
one.
feeling
Disagree.
I have the feeling that Bernie's got like some emotion.
Who's
in
the
there.
only
He
one
could-
with a black friend, bro?
Didn't Booker drop out?
Biden.
No, I was
All
gonna
right,
say-
that's
I
kind
would
of
say
racist,
Booker.
Corey.
Bro.
You're
I would
right,
say
bro.
Booker, but he dropped out. It's
That's
because
kind
he's
of
black, though.
racist,
It's not because he's black. I said he's not because he's black. It's because he's from New Jersey.
No,
Dude,
I
show me
think-
the birth certificate,
No, I
bro.
think Bernie's like actual anger could actually resonate well on an EP.
He made an album before. It was a spoken word album, but it's still.
Oh yeah, and
Straight
nobody
out of
likes talking about
Auschwitz,
it.
bro.
Bro, what the fuck?
Bernie's gonna do a cover of "Beware" by Death Grips. He's just gonna get up on stage and he's
Oh my
gonna be,
God.
"I
He's gonna
light my
receive-
torch and burn
Okay.
it."
No, he's actually going to recite the entire Charles Manson speech as
Straight
well.
out of Auschwitz.
Bernie's album is called "We Shall Overcome."
Oh, amen.
He got remastered in 2014.
I'm gonna have to listen to that. Anyway,
We shall
I do want to
overcome.
interject a more serious story. This one's actually funny. This is from The Independent by Maya Oppenheim. Emmanuel Macron evacuated from theater as protesters tried to find him. Journalist watching is also watching the play arrested after joke after hurling shoes about hurling his shoes at the president.
So I was actually in Paris when these fucking protests started.
How was
That's
that?
funny.
That's
Yeah,
the
how was
one
Paris?
place on
Um,
earth I want eviscerated.
Well, the metro was down, so I couldn't really get anywhere. So I had to walk from my hotel to the Eiffel Tower, which is like a 60-minute walk.
That's sick.
Nice one.
Then I had to walk from the Eiffel Tower to the Louvre, which is pretty nice. It was a nice walk, actually. I walked along the river, and I didn't see any protesters while I was there. I just saw armed police on every fucking corner.
That's
Which
sick.
of the candidates do you think would be the best for like trap music?
Bro, we already had this fucking question with the EP.
No, he said
We
EP, he didn't
we
say
gotta go
trap
to the, We
music.
gotta go to the fucking story here, though.
Yeah, Macron.
Emmanuel Macron was evacuated from a Parisian theater as dozens of demonstrators tried to get inside the building to find him. Critics of the French president's pension reforms assembled at the, I don't know French,
I
both
did
the
hear
Nord
about this.
theater on Friday evening, where Mr. Macron was seen to play with his wife Bridget.
gotta party
Protesters
like it's
overrode police
1792.
efforts to block them, going into the building and managed to storm inside as they chanted, "Macron resign, and we are here, even if Macron does not want us, we are here.
We are here.
We are here." The president and his
Interesting.
wife are watching a play called La Mouche, which translates as The Fly in English. When
gay.
Teha... I don't know. I can't.
I think it's
remember his name, dude.
Bohofs.
Bohofs, I think, yeah.
It would
An
have been
activist
really ironic
journalist
if
who
he
was
was
sitting
watching.
several rows behind shared pictures on Twitter. Mr. Bohofs jokingly asked his social media followers if he should hurl his shoes at the president, a reference to the Iraqi journalist who made headlines worldwide for throwing his shoes at former U.S. President George Bush.
Did he get tackled for that?
Yeah.
No,
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought, bro. That's what I
yeah,
thought.
and they escorted him to a fucking police station. I don't know if he was charged with anything, but that's fucking
Nice.
funny.
Sounds
I
like
was
your
gonna
boy
say,
needs to
listen-
lawyer up, bro. Fuck that.
I was gonna say it would have been really ironic if Macron was watching Les Miserables.
Or he was eating macaroons, dude.
I wish. Anyway, the journalist after that said, "I'm kidding. The security is looking at me weirdly right now." Mr. Bohofs was arrested and transported to a police station, but it's not known if he was taken into custody, reports France 24. Mr. Macron
Mr.
reportedly
Macron?
came back to the theater.
Mr. Macaroon.
Yeah,
Mr.
Mr.
Macaroon,
Macaroon reportedly came back to the
That's
theater
all
to see
I've
the
been thinking
performance
this
after
whole
being
time.
whisked away in a car.
You gotta whisk the macaroons, bro.
Bohofs is like, Mr. Macron, it's just a prank, bro. See, there's a camera right here.
I love how
It's just a
American we
prank,
are.
bro.
God.
I love how American
Joke
we
got
are when we talk
serious,
about the
bro.
French president. All we can think of is French food.
Macaroons.
Macaroon, bro.
Dude, macaroons are
God.
delicious.
Dude, I had
So-
some great macaroons in Paris.
Did you
Dude,
guys
the
think the,
Vietnamese make
protests-
gas macaroons.
Do you think the protest going on in Paris right now is actually going to turn into another revolution in France?
I hope so.
They have
Well-
protests every year. This is nothing new.
Yeah, it's France. It's like
Exactly.
the one thing they're good at.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Dude,
I
I
can't
could.
believe the French president's trying to take away my 3-hour smoke break. Oh, is that Lucas? Our
Hello.
fifth member is here.
Poop dealer.
I'm gonna leave in like 2 seconds though.
Hell
okay.
yeah.
Quick,
All right,
give
I
us your
made my
take.
contribution.
Well, welcome.
Welcome to the game.
Welcome.
All right,
Well,
goodbye.
All right, see you around.
Farewell.
Adios.
Adios, amigo. All right, so that was a
Farewell
little
to a
reading
loved one.
series I had there. Now up to the next big topic of the night. The Virginia gun rally happened yesterday, Monday the
Oh my
20th.
God.
Oh boy.
Let's talk.
We
Can
gotta
I start
mobilize
this
the
one,
SRA.
please?
Um,
Please.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I love how every single article that I've read on it immediately states in the title that nothing bad happened. Why is that? What the fuck, bro?
I think everybody
They're
was
using
waiting
the
for
J-
something big to happen, but nothing did. It just
They're
shit
using
out.
the Joker movie defense where they keep hyping it up to be a big disaster, and then they're like, "Oh, nothing happened."
Dude, it's the same as Charlottesville. It's literally the fucking same.
It
Except
is.
Charlottesville
It is.
actually went fucking horrible.
Charlottesville was pretty epic.
Hot take on how to deal with gun control. Give kids guns.
Of course.
God.
Problem solved.
alright.
Problem
Dude,
solved.
if there's a school shooting, they'll just stop it themselves.
Exactly,
Yeah,
bro.
Corey.
Dude, it's a joke, bro.
I know.
Yeah, we need to
Oh,
teach our
joking?
4-year-olds how to use a handgun.
Better idea. Plant midgets in grammar school classes. Have them act like kids and have them armed constantly.
Has there ever been a grammar school that got shut up?
Actually,
Uh,
good point.
Sandy
Probably
Hook.
not.
What?
That'd be
I think
funny
Sandy
as
Hook was an
fuck.
elementary school.
That's not a,
Like,
Yeah,
imagine an
is-
8-year-old
is-
with a Glock. Like, fuck
are
yeah.
grammar schools and elementary schools the same thing?
Yeah, I think
Some
so.
in some places, yeah, it depends.
I always thought a grammar school was like for grammar specifically.
Like,
I
I'm
think they're
pretty
just called grammar
sure.
school. I think that was just like a more dated term for elementary
Yeah,
The
school.
that's
only,
that's,
like,
my inner
actual-
boomer
Yeah.
coming out, bro.
Another term
I'm
for elementary
old.
school. You
What are
fucking
you referred
Yeah.
to as
dude.
a grammar school when you were in school?
Yeah.
It just when I looked up
Mhm.
grammar school, it said another term for elementary school in the U.S.
Yup.
Because it's also a
Bruh,
thing
we-
in the U.S., like especially like in like Minnesota and other northern states. Instead of high school, some places call it secondary school.
Yeah, it's kind of
Bro,
weird.
we should.
Secondary
should
school
just-
for where I live is like considered like welding and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
that? I think it's just called vocational training here.
I
So
think
they
that's-
call
yeah.
it
That's
trade
vocational
school
training,
or
yeah.
secondary school here, because on all applications that I've submitted, they have it as like either one of those.
For me, it
Yeah.
was a technical center, but it's like
That's
Well,
the
it's
same
'cause
fucking
the
weird
American
that
education
places like
system
are
is
different
fucked.
on that.
Back to the gun rally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big dick energy.
I heard it was about. I heard that the source of it was something about the Virginia governor trying to suspend the Second Amendment or something.
The fuck.
They want to collect assault weapons or some shit.
Good luck.
And-
Yeah,
Hold on, let me pull it up. It's a lot more complicated than just, oh, we're trying to take your guns.
This is
basically
the
they're
same
trying to
governor that,
pass like a lot more stricter gun legislation
Well, fuck that.
in Virginia.
This is the same governor that got caught doing blackface last year.
Not gonna lie, Virginia's a complicated place for this issue. There's
Oh,
a
especially.
Yeah,
lot.
it's pretty complicated.
Yeah. That's one I do not have an answer for. I'm not touching it.
I just really fucking hate gun control, dude.
I ain't no fucking omnipotent being. I really don't know the answer to that
My
one.
state raised the gun the age
Yeah,
to buy a firearm
so
from 18 to 21, and I'm still pissed.
Fuck.
Virginia State Senate, they're advancing, red flag laws where you can say that someone is a harm to themselves and others, and they
Mhm.
can just be raided with no warrant whatsoever.
Oh, nice.
Which is basically
Oh,
like that
that's-
fucking movie where they arrest people before they commit crimes, dude.
That
That's a
sounds like a
fucking
fucking
slippery
Are you
slip.
talking
sounds
about
like
Minority
martial law.
Report?
Yeah, it's a fucking huge slippery slope, dude. Lane illustrated it perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you know, the fucking speaking of Minority Report, well, I don't want to get into that. I was gonna allude to Soleimani and how Trump just kind of hit a panic button because he probably was a dangerous guy.
Probably.
I mean, we ain't even know. That's the thing.
All right,
You know,
so-
according to Pompeo.
What a good guy.
So,
When's Pompeo
Lane,
ever been wrong?
you probably did the most research out of all of us for the Virginia gun rally. I'm gonna let you kind of head this one.
Yeah, so
talk about your
the
research.
So the Virginia Citizens Defense League, which is like the 3%ers but localized to Virginia,
Hmm.
they like have a website and they put out a bunch of like statements on the rally. They said that almost 120,000 people would be in attendance, but you guys saw the pictures. It was about
20,
maybe 30,
almost.
maybe
20,
30,000.
30,000.
I saw a few photos, mostly just Alex Jones in the fucking Infowars armor.
I've been listening to drill songs all day,
Yeah, I
bro.
can't believe Alex Jones got the APC now.
I want Comrade
I don't
Alex
even-
to lead us into the revolution.
Hell yeah,
don't even
dude.
think
Stop
Alex
making the
Jones-
frogs gay!
I don't even think he was in attendance. I think it was just Infowars reporters.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, he was live streaming himself at the event.
Oh,
I
he
don't
was there.
think they were
Okay.
even at the main event. I think they were at a different town.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
fapping in bed during the event.
But yeah, basically Infowars was there. They had an armored truck. They had an armed guard. Well, if they supported these people, then why did they need an armed escort? You know, like
You know what? That's a real good fucking point.
This
what's
also,
your
This also talks about like
like-
the police presence as well, and compared to like whenever there's.
Oh,
like, a
yeah,
rally where
so-
Antifa is there.
there was
Like,
almost no cops there compared to like say an Antifa rally, which most Antifa rallies involved unarmed people.
And most Antifa rallies are usually just a response to right-wing ones as well,
Dude,
and then like the
it's-
police target Antifa compared more to like the actual
It's
right-wing.
pretty clear. It's a pretty clear answer why cops are pussies and they don't want to face people who actually have guns.
Yes.
And yeah, bro, real shit. Fuck the police, okay?
Fuck the police.
Fuck the police.
Yeah,
Can we get
no,
a
that's-
unanimous fuck the police here?
Yeah,
Fuck the
ACAB,
police.
fuck the police.
ACAB,
Fuck the police.
fuck the.
If
This
you
is
want to
no way
blame
to
because I
us,
live
say,
right
but
next
we're
to
not
a
gonna
police
try.
station.
Dude, I'm trying to fuck some police wives, you hear me?
So, Lane, can you give me a description of like the average attendee of this gun rally?
oh yeah, okay, so
Fat and white, beard, bald.
Okay, no. You
Close.
you get your average like working middle class to lower class American male that's white, and they're like a Trump supporter because they're tired of being shit on by the top 1%, and they think clinging to having a gun in their hands is gonna like prevent like Jeff Bezos from like
Stealing all their
garnishing
money.
their checks until they have nothing left. And there's nothing you can like. They're pointing their guns at the wrong people. Like
Honestly,
like,
I think we need
they
to elect
need
a trapper.
guns, but also like there's easier ways to protest. Like I don't know, man.
Peacefully.
And like there are some people there with like the right wing death squad patches, which I don't even.
That's
you know.
fucking gross.
Oh,
If-
what other
if you
kind
say
of,
you're-
what
if you
other
say
circumstances?
You're not a fascist, but then you have a death squad patch. I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah, if you have a
And then
death
you
squad- well, guys, it's actually because the Nazis were socialist, actually.
Oh my god. Hot
And they
take
had
number
rooftop
2.
voters patches, which
Is that a reference to the rooftop Koreans?
No,
No, it's more of
Oh.
referencing to the JFK assassination.
yeah, they
Like,
vote by
shit.
shooting. They had Confederate flags, which is MLK Day, and they're protesting a right. So I don't know what they were going with there, or not JFK Day, MLK Day. You know what I mean?
Day.
Oh,
You know, it
Like,
just
MLK
seemed
civil
like
Day.
rights
bro.
leader, JFK.
Hell
it seemed
yeah.
like they didn't even know what they were protesting because they all just showed up and they had like different views. Like they were even arguing among themselves. Like some of them were neo-Nazis, some of them were neocons, and they were just like getting into fights, like calling each other the Nazis. And
Dude, it's so wacky that Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the third anniversary of Trump's inauguration, Blue Monday, and this gun rally were all on the same fucking day. Fucking legendary.
The
It's
year of the
great.
vibe really is hitting.
Like, if you saw the pictures, there was just some retarded shit. Like, a dude came in with a Barrett fucking 50 cal. Like, way to go, buddy. You showed your $1,000 fucking rifle.
Dude, if I had
That
a
you never-
$1,000 rifle, I'd walk around with it and try to piss people
Speaking
off.
of carrying
my
guns
car.
and stuff like that, like a lot of the protesters did as well. Lane, you showed me an image yesterday,
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
while we were doing research. Would you care to describe it?
You guys see in the group chat, we have a, he looks like, I went to high school with him. He's got his Realtree camo on. He's got his Realtree, no, it's an Ozarks, tactical backpack with the straps, and he's got, his camo hat on. And he's just got a shotgun, like, carabinered into his, like, backpack pocket. Like, it's just hanging out there. You could push him and it'd fall out of the backpack.
Oh,
Like,
easily.
that's great. Way to secure your fucking rifle.
Like,
you
if he dropped
professional.
something and bent over to pick it up, the gun would just fucking fall.
Yeah, like, I've gone hunting with people who have secured a rifle way better than that.
Wow. Dude, I want
And
to get a rifle. Too bad I can't.
too bad, man.
Jones, I
Yeah,
feel like
I
this
know.
would be you
Raise the
carrying
age.
the rifle.
Dude, I would,
Yeah.
dude, honestly, probably. I'd
This
walk
kind
around
of looks
my-
like you
I'd
from
walk around
behind, James.
I would walk around my camo Crocs, my suspenders, and my Vineyard Vines T-shirt.
Or are you
That's
gonna be like
terrifying.
are you gonna be like the poop shitter herself, Caitlyn Bennett, and just shit yourself?
Of course.
Oh yeah, and then
course.
there's this picture floating around too. Hold on, if you guys want to check the group chat. He's not even securing it. He's looking at his phone. He's got it pointed straight to the sky, which is,
should describe
a
the,
no-go.
image. Basically,
Fuck,
the
Fuck,
image
we
is of a
out here,
guy-
bruh. He repping that shit. Ain't nobody
Basically-
running up on him. He gonna hit him with that. Ah!
We here in the
You know what I'm
country,
saying?
baby. Yeehaw!
The image of it is of a guy
finna
with
hit
a cowboy hat, looking down at his phone, just holding a gun on his back, basically.
I'm not
He's
scared
got a
of old white people with guns, bro.
He just
He's
has his
got
gun
a-
kind of pointed up in the air, basically.
he's got the shotgun, at attention, like, on his shoulder, pointed up, and I salute some of the dudes there. They had their guns secured. They had it pointed down. They had safeties on. But, there's just people walking around, just straight up, just fucking swinging their shit around with no, like, harness or anything, or, yeah, and it was just a fucking
Yeah,
mess.
I'm very pro Second Amendment. But even I can tell you these guys are fucking retards.
Oh,
Yeah.
These
exactly.
are the wrong type of people to give guns.
They just like guns, bro.
I-
But they supporting the wrong fucking
I don't-
shit.
I don't
They
know if
know.
they shouldn't have guns, but I definitely think you should have more education on proper handling of guns.
Oh,
Everyone,
no.
100%.
Actually,
You know what I'm
this is
saying?
a
I
great
love
time
guns.
to plug a great organization.
The
If you're
SRA,
more
yeah.
left wing, if you're more left wing, and you don't like the fascist tendencies of the NRA talking about libtards and shit,
Or the
Uh,
NRA.
Gang!
constantly.
join the best group out there, the Socialist Rifle
Yeah.
Association. We
Yeah,
might
if you
actually put a
wanna
link in the description.
join the
for it.
NRA, but not be a retard, just join the SRA.
Yeah, these guys actually do things to help people. They support people in need, like survivors of Hurricane Dorian, Sandy, all of that. They have a bunch of different donation groups. It's pretty cheap too. It's only $25 a year, and you can easily.
And
try to get
if
a
you
waiver.
are low income, you can get it wavered by a current member, and
Just a disclaimer.
you can have your dues wavered. Yeah,
Just a disclaimer. we are
Um,
not sponsored by them. We are just propaganda.
Yes,
yeah, we're just propaganda.
we're not sponsored by them at all. I'm totally not a member.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, guys. I don't know if you saw, but there's QAnon flags there.
Oh,
At the right.
great. This is back to
Bow.
the Virginia
What the
gun
fuck
rally,
is
not at the
QAnon?
SRA.
What the fuck
So,
is
you know,
QAnon?
if you don't know what QAnon is,
I've
it's
heard of it,
a
but I don't know exactly what it is.
conspiracy that Donald Trump feigned a phone call with Russia to get Robert Mueller on board to investigate the cabal among left-wing politicians and Democratic celebrities and Hollywood types.
Basically, these are the guys that I actually believe Trump is here to drain the swamp.
Oh,
They're
Okay,
big
then.
think, oh, Trump just faked a phone call.
Oh, and they also have like this weird thing for Robert Kennedy as well, and JFK
Yeah.
Jr.
dude, rest in peace, rest in peace, RFK.
I don't know why,
RFK
but yeah.
forever, bro.
R.I.P. Harambe.
Bro.
Dude, Gorilla Gang. Gorilla's in a fucking coop, bro.
You know, there's not enough dead Kennedys, and I'm not talking about the band.
Oh, let's talk about the best part of Doug Kennedy.
Wow. Wow.
So we lightly touched on this earlier. Let's talk about the presence of other groups as well. Like there's Proud Boys, neo-Nazi
You know,
groups, a bunch of shit.
I
And
just-
then
There's
also
neo-Nazis,
everybody's favorite-
neocons. You
Isn't
know.
Proud Boys like a 4chan thing?
Yeah, this is the one that was made by like I forgot his last name, but
I don't know, dude.
he's owns Rebel Media and shit like that now.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
anything that
yeah.
happens
This
on
group, the
4chan
Proud
outside
Boys,
of
wear
TV, I don't
like
know.
black and yellow polos, and their whole thing is if you masturbate, you kicked out.
So that leads into my next point. We need a politician in the porn industry. Because all politics is fucking each other over, bruh. And who knows how to fuck someone like no other? These motherfuckers in the porn industry, bro.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
porn industry
feel like-
leader would you vote for as president?
Obviously, BBW. What do you mean? Hentai, BBW, cumflation, or hentai, bro. Get out of here.
I don't think he was asking for category. I think he was asking for a specific person.
That was
Yeah,
all
oh,
specific
oh,
for
yeah,
you.
specific person.
That was
Easy,
very specific.
easy.
Yeah, I don't want to know about what you watch. I just want to know who you
Which
think should
porn
lead.
star? Which porn production company do I think?
No, which
Obviously,
person?
fake
Yeah, which person? Let's,
Which
try that.
individual? I don't know the executives of these companies, bro. I highly doubt any of us could even.
Okay, let's
talk.
limit this. What
No,
porn star?
The executives of
I,
porn don't do
now
porn.
that I will tackle, 100%. Victoria Cakes, 100%.
Can you give your reason why?
I'm trying to bury my face so far up that ass that I literally cannot escape.
And
I
how
really
will she do that as
Wait.
president?
I'm not
We
sure.
at the Ministry of Vibes would like to make a statement that we do
I'd
not
like-
endorse any of the
Yeah,
views
we
and
only endorse Tom
representations of the members
Sire.
of the podcast. The views and representations of this podcast are not
Yeah, this ain't
cohesive to
me.
our
I don't
own
even-
personal beliefs.
Actually, no. We all endorse Mia Khalifa for president. So.
Oh, hey man.
Gang shit, dude. I would.
Gang,
Oh,
I don't think we can though because she's Lebanese. She can't be president. Like,
oh
damn,
hell
it's
yeah,
wonderful.
she can probably cook like a beast. Then.
No. Well,
That'd be
shit, I don't know
funny.
any- I don't know any
Because
other
you get
porn stars.
Republicans being, oh, brown
don't know
person
any.
bad.
I'm not publicly willing to admit that I know any other porn stars. I mean,
I can list all of them.
oh, this actually wants me to bring to a different thing. I saw like this random boomer post by some guy on Facebook. He was talking about how Ilhan Omar shouldn't be like in America because like Muslims are taking over or something.
Does he
But,
own
like, no,
America?
he used like a photoshopped photo of like Mia Khalifa instead of Ilhan Omar.
Just like her reading a book with her mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so can we talk about how the average boomer post on Facebook is how Donald Trump's doing God's work. He's getting the immigrants that are in Congress out, and it's like a picture of AOC and Ilhan Omar. Like, do you know that you can't be an immigrant and be a member of Congress?
yeah. Some people think that the laws for president apply to Congress. That you have to be an actual
Yeah.
citizen. Not very smart.
Yeah, it's great.
God. Like, there's so
Dude.
many things you could just go on Snopes and be like, yeah, no, this isn't how it works, bud. It's just,
Actually, dude, I actually read a libertarian website, so I know how it works.
And then you ask them why
Dude,
they
I'm a
hate
registered
these
libertarian.
candidates.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I signed up as a Democrat. They send me mail every year, and like legally I'm a libertarian for some reason.
You can change your
signed-
registration
Actually, I
online.
want to ask you
That's
a
the
question.
thing, though. I signed up as Democrat, and it's
They probably-
literally they got it
probably just-
wrong.
They probably
Are you in
yeah,
a state that has
you can
closed
change-
primaries?
Yeah,
Like,
so they won't even let me vote in the fucking closed
Dude,
primary.
Change your registration.
change your registration.
I
man.
fucking did. That's why I changed it to Democrat, because
Oh.
initially I registered as Libertarian, and I changed it, and nothing went through.
Oh my god.
That was
That's
over
great.
7 years ago, dude.
I know it's. I know
Did
it's
you try
handled by
changing it
county.
since?
Yeah.
It's handled by county, if I remember correctly.
Oh
Or-
well,
so-
that's never gonna change then, because where I be
Well, my
staying,
county did it
all
online,
of
and I
those,
got it done.
those
like,
women that
immediately.
like, baby, I handle it, and then 7 years pass. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, okay, well, fuck this.
Yeah, I know how it is. How you register, like how you register, at least in my county, because I was originally an independent, and I changed it to Democrat so I could vote in the primaries.
Yeah, so that's the whole reason I had changed it too, and like they were like, you can't. I was
Dude,
like,
Yeah,
Um,
you're right,
okay.
Actually, this actually is a good segue into the next topic. I kind of asked everybody
Thursday
to look
night.
up some local news in the area that you guys live and to tell a little bit
Oh,
of
I
the story,
gotta-
at least like the state or region that you're in. Do you guys have any stories that you guys want to share? Any
I
news?
have one that I want to touch on very briefly.
Go ahead.
I'm
I
gonna
don't-
go
I do
on.
not I don't currently live there, but in my home city of Jacksonville, our fucking city government's trying to privatize our electricity/sewage company. So it used to be it's a community owned, if I remember correctly, community owned like utility. And they're trying to privatize it and sell it off to corporations.
Oh, that's nice.
And now
What
the fucking I think the feds are investigating it now because they think some shady shit went down. But they haven't sold it yet, which is good. But I hope to God they don't fucking sell it.
yeah, that'd be fucking awful. That'd just be another loss here.
I got a
big fucking L.
I got a pretty good one. It's not so much political as it is like
As long as it's
fucked up.
local news, it's fine, dude. Go for
All
it.
right, so in the place that I reside at, there is a local Catholic high school, private Catholic high school, that is highly linked to the Jesuit faith. Anyway,
Just what.
one of these high profile priests that work there as a teacher,
Did they
and
molest somebody?
they have been found to have molested generations of fucking
Called it.
people.
Holy
Generations,
shit.
bro. And so, like, you know, the joke in the high schools around here that we went to is like everyone that goes to that high school is kind of, you know, inclined to
molested.
homosexual behavior. You know what I mean?
That's
It's
dated.
you know,
Holy shit.
it's totally dated. It
Sure.
totally is. But here's the thing: everyone that comes out of that school is a little feminine. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that at all. But like now that we have that coming out, it's like holy shit! How many of y'all were actually assaulted? You know what
It's
I'm
the
saying?
soy in the water, bro. I'm telling
And then
you.
the
Wait,
other
so-
prominent school, the other
Wait,
prominent
Corey,
Catholic
is
school
this,
around
is
here.
this the Broomhandle school?
No. So wait, the other
Okay,
prominent,
okay.
the other
Awesome,
prominent
yes, it's
private
great.
school around here in this area. I had a friend who told me, you know, well, two friends actually that have disclosed to me over the past 5 years that they had a sexual relationship with one of the teachers at that school, a religion teacher. And it's like, holy shit, you know, like this shit's really going on out here, and people are just like, who knows how much shit's really going on up in that, you know?
All right.
All right. Let's try to conclude real quickly.
Hi
Okay.
everyone.
Hello,
Hey,
welcome
babe.
back, Lucas. You're just suddenly here.
All right, so can you just give me a quick docket of what we talked about so I can give my quick?
Right now we're talking about local news in our area.
I
Corey was talking about
definitely
how in his
made-
area there's been a new charge of like sexual molestation going on for generations at a private Catholic school. Do you
Oh,
have any
there's-
bit of
oh.
Lucas, do you have any public local news you want to talk about?
Well, the obvious one about the guy getting a broomstick shoved up his ass crack.
He was broomstick ass. Y'all thought it was me. Get out of
Oh my
here.
God.
Fuck y'all. Thanks, Lucas. You fucking clutched it, bruh.
I knew when you said something about a broomstick ass, and I was like, okay,
Also,
is this the same
Side
school?
note, Lucas' fucking profile pic is a character from the Sonic anime, if y'all didn't know, and that's a fucking
All right,
throwback.
that's getting
So
off
20
topic.
points to him.
Lucas,
I'm
go
done.
ahead and tell your story. Go ahead. Of the broom handle.
Well,
He's
I hope
muted.
my connection is better this time. But the kid at a private Catholic school, football team, they would shove broomsticks up kids' butts.
Hell yeah, dude.
Was it like a hazing ritual or something? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
hazing. Yeah,
Oh,
for
God.
the football team.
God.
Fuck,
Yeah.
dude.
That's fucking great. So what happened to the dudes hazing people like that? Like,
The
did they...
football team got shut down, and they might just disband it altogether. This has been going on for like years.
No more football, no brooms up ass.
All right, hold on.
All right.
All because
Lane, go
someone
ahead and
got a
tell your
broomstick shoved
story.
up their ass.
Okay, so literally a day ago, I don't know if you saw it, Avery, because we live in the same state.
Yeah.
Kansas City. There was a shooting in Kansas City.
Oh, shit.
Outside of a nightclub. There's 1 death and 15 injured. So it was at the 9 Ultra Lounge. They were having a sold out Sundays event, which is a celebration of the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't released a motive, but if it has anything to do with like the Chiefs beating the Titans last Sunday, that's gonna be fucking retarded. Like, what would like? I guess, you know, wasn't there a war in Europe that was spurred because of a disagreement over a football match?
Central America. It was like I think it was El Salvador and Honduras.
Like, come on, people.
Yeah, my favorite
It's-
European countries.
Of course.
Yeah, it was South America. I didn't mean Europe.
That's fine.
I thought because the whole Germany Brazil thing, but
You're talking about the World Cup in, like 2012.
7-1. 7-1.
7-1.
you know I don't fucking watch soccer.
This is America.
Whoa, buddy! You just screwed up many people around the world by saying that.
Yeah, I think you actually just alienated
Hey, you know
a
what?
good chunk
Hey, you
of
know
our
what?
would-be audience.
Fuck your sport. Hey, you know what? Fuck your sport.
Oh,
So I do want to cut this into another serious one about Missouri. Missouri is literal hell, and we're being pushed further and further into it by Republicans. There is now a proposed bill which would create parental review boards for public libraries. These could result in fines or jail time for librarians. So this is basically just like a redo of the Parent Music Resource Center of the 90s. If everybody wants to talk about that, remember that, and also the 80s. There's actually a big trial about that with dead Kennedys. That might be talked about in a later episode.
Oh damn.
these
Oh
are-
yeah, I know what you're talking
fuck
about. Yeah.
censorship.
Yeah, fuck censorship. So basically what's going
Hey,
on is
so-
any book that like is deemed a little too sexual or anything,
Any book that's too epic, basically.
any book that's like, you know, good,
You know,
can be
the
deemed
Republican Party
inappropriate
for
to
being-
minors or anything like that, and could get the book banned in the state or at least that library.
you know, the Republican Party for claiming to be the moral high ground of the right. Really, you know,
The freedom
they're
of
starting-
speech gain, yeah.
they're trying to draw a lot of parallels with a certain, you know, fascist dictatorship from 1930s Europe. They're talking about, you know, censoring certain works of literature and art, and then they're also, you know, promoting, you know, just armed militias walking around, standing up for their beliefs. You know.
I just want to mention something real quickly. The one thing I like about the recent Republican Party, like the recent changes, because of Trump's election, is they fucking lost all like religious authority. Like
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
they
yeah.
can't,
fucking
base,
cool.
they can't
Yeah.
base their arguments in religion anymore because of Trump, and I love that.
And also,
I
like,
think it's fucking
an
hilarious.
evangelical
This-
group, didn't they, like, completely just dismiss Trump because, like, it's completely against faith for them.
A lot of
Despite
them
the
tried
fact
to.
that boomers say that Trump is the second coming of Christ and he's doing God's work.
Trump
How
is
come
like the
Christians
furthest
don't
from
like
an.
it?
Trump
That's
is like
funny.
the furthest
This is
you
what
could
they
get with
wanted. This is
evangelical
what they get.
candidate.
Ugh.
It's
But
great.
that's the one
And
recent
then-
development I like from the Republican Party is that they don't base their
But it's like
morality and religion
we
anymore.
Oh, yeah,
we
it's
have
just-
literal internment camps for, you know, refugees trying to get into America, you know, immigrants.
Praise
And
God, am I
you know,
right?
Yeah, praise
Yeah.
God. God wanted us to keep this country right, and by howdy, the Republican Party is doing their best.
All right. We touched briefly on the local news. I do want to wrap this up. Thanks for listening. If you actually managed to get this far, that's really, really great of you. Anybody have any final things to say before we completely wrap up?
Follow us all on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
censorship,
We
and
are
I love the Second Amendment.
Ministry O Vibes on Twitter.
Yeah, follow Jones. He's a little bit of a celebrity now. He was the once world record holder for speed running, getting banned on.
Alright, I'm
Yeah.
Well, Lucas, you're here right at the end. Do you have any closing thoughts for anything?
Fuck Hillary Clinton.
Amen.
He's a fucking fraud.
Fuck that bitch.
They
Dude.
banned September by Earth, Wind, and Fire on the radio a couple months after 9/11.
They also
Dude.
jumped. They also banned "Jump" by Van Halen.
They also banned every single Rage Against the Machine song.
Oh yeah, they did.
Because it was anti-war. That's great.
Dude, Lucas, I'm really mad what you said about Hillary. You know, I'm with her, dude.
The
You can't
Titans
just diss
game was
you
rigged.
can't just diss you can't just diss Hill Dog like that.
Yeah, you can't
Jones,
diss
did
the
you
H
realize
dog,
that
bro.
the arrow and the H symbol is pointing to the right? Wow, got libtard.
Oh, ouch. Oh,
MAGA, you fucking libtard.
I've been owned.
All right, everybody. I think that Corey, do you have any final thoughts to say? Corey.
And I think Corey's out.
Corey's
Fuck this,
fucking
I'm gonna
dead.
block TV with my
He
fucking
overdosed
hands
from
up. I'm not
heroin.
starting my fucking self.
All right, everybody. This is the end. Have a good one. See you next time.
Rawhide, take 4. That was pretty good. Okay, enough rawhides.